everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. So my goal for this week is to read the books on my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR that I haven't gotten to yet. The only book on that TBR I've read is Claude, Evil Alien Warlord Cat, Book 2, Enemies, and I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it, and then I just set that TBR aside and didn't touch it. So the books I need to read are Pale de Santiago and the Forest of Nightmares, which covers Treat Yourself, because I just recently got this. Queen of Hearts, which I got for Crown, which was a punishment draw thing, because I ended up with 3 prompts that I needed to pick the one I wanted to read the least, and I went with this one because it was not on my TBR. Flashback for book over 400 pages, and I think this is over 800 pages, so definitely counts. And then Valor, which I got for book 2, Loves, because I picked up the series because it seemed like everybody and their brother was talking about Malice, and I really enjoy Malice, so I decided to continue on with the series. The other book I might try to get to is Poisonous Primrose, which was the book I picked for Independent because that was another prompt I pulled, and I think after watching the edit, I probably should have had that book on there because I took it off because I gained a reward, and I was saying that if I got a reward, I got to remove a book from my TBR. But then I think somehow I ended up with an extra spin or something that I missed, and I noticed it in the edit, so I just decided I was going to read the indie book if I could get to it. So yeah, that's my plan, is to get to those. The other thing I would really like to do this week is finish The Things We Do for Love. I'm on page 158, and read Wild Beauty, because these are my last 2 spring covers. We're this close to fall, and I haven't finished my spring covers. And another reason I want to do that is because one of my summer covers is on my TBR, and I don't want to start that vlog until I finish my spring cover vlog. And so I'm purposely not reading my summer cover until I finish these. My summer cover is on my Phase 10 TBR, so I really need to finish it. If I can get through these 2 this week, then that means I can wrap that vlog up, and I will have like 3 days to finish the book for my summer covers. And so that's my plan. It is a ridiculous amount of work to read this many books, especially with these 2 chunkers on there. But this is a reread, and it should go fast, even though it's 800 and some odd pages, because I've read it before, I enjoyed it, and I read these books very quickly. I will be getting the audiobook for this from Audible, because I have found the best way for me to read adult fantasy is to have an audiobook, and with all the character names and world names that are kind of made up, it is just helpful for pronunciation. I have an audiobook for this, so this should go rather quickly. And then this is a middle grade, so hopefully it won't take me long, even though I don't have an audiobook for that. I don't have an audiobook for either of these either, so that is part of it. I am struggling with reading physically with no audiobooks. So we're going to see how it goes, but that is my plan for this week, is a lot of Pick-Pong-A-Thon picks. And yeah, hopefully I can keep the momentum from last week. I read like 12 books in the space of 7 days. So, I mean, if I can get to the Poisonous Primrose and these 4, that would be 5 books. And I feel like these count for at least 2 each, because they're so huge. So, like, I think it's doable if I can have a week like last week, but we'll see. I'm going to try. I'm going to make a valiant effort. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, that is my plan for this week, is just a lot of continuing to read and get my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR done. And this is basically a Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR because I won't be talking about my summer covers in this video. So the most you'll get is an update on where I am, not what my thoughts are. So really, this is going to be my dedicated Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR video. So wish me luck. I'm going to go read, and I will check back in with you when I have more to say. massively failed at vlogging this week. It is technically Tuesday morning. It's shortly before 2 a.m. and I just never checked back in this week. I thought about it, but I also thought about the fact that I had 5 TBR videos that had to go out before the first of the month and a 6th that I needed to film. And the thought of filming that and filming clips for vlogs just did not appeal to me. So I focused on the TBR videos and ignored the vlog. But I am going to wrap this week up and you'll be getting a 3-day vlog that wraps up the month. I was going to film this last night after midnight, but then there was a giant spider on my pillow and my mom took care of that. I'm talking like size of a quarter. And then I found not 1, but 2 other littler spiders in or near my bed. And there was just no way I was going to film. I was very paranoid last night. So I couldn't film this morning because there was construction outside and you would not have been able to hear me. Well, you would have been able to hear me, but you've also would have been able to hear that. So this is the first opportunity I've had to really sit down and film when I could concentrate. So I have no idea what I said in the last clip. I don't think I had finished anything. I think I just kicked this vlog off and told you guys what I planned to do. So first up, I finished Queen of Hearts. This is a Alice in Wonderland retelling where we're getting to see the Queen of Hearts when she's the Princess of Hearts and her father is the King of Hearts. And we kind of get to see what her life was like before she became the infamous Queen of Hearts that we all know from Alice in Wonderland. This was my book for Crown for Pick-Pong-A-Thon. And I gave this book 4.25 stars. I actually really, really enjoyed this. It gave me a lot of Once Upon a Time in Wonderland vibes. And I enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and I really enjoyed this too. I definitely plan to continue on with the series. I really enjoyed Dinah, who is the Princess of Hearts, and getting to see her kind of backstory and who she is and what her motivations are and what her life was like. And I'm very curious to see where her story goes from here. I truly, honestly was expecting this to be a 3-star book, so I was very pleasantly surprised, and I am excited to continue on with the series because I actually really enjoyed Dinah as a character. So this fulfilled Crown, so that was my second book for Pick-Pong-A-Thon down. Then I read Paola Santiago and the Forest of Nightmares, and I gave this book 4.5 stars, and I believe this was for newest purchase for Pick-Pong-A-Thon. And this is the second book in the Paola Santiago series. And in the first book, Paola has to rescue her friend Emma after she goes missing. And it looks like the myths and legends that her mom liked to tell her might be more real than she thought they were. And in the story, we're continuing to follow Paola and her friends Emma and Dante as Dante helps her look for Emma in book 1. I really enjoyed book 2. I was very surprised by where this book went and the twists and turns this book had. I really, really wasn't expecting most of them, which I absolutely loved. I am very excited to get to the 3rd book in the trilogy and see how this wraps up. I believe it just came out in hardcover, so I may have to request that from the library because I own the first 2 in paperback, so it's going to be a while before I can buy book 3, but I'm really, really enjoying the series and the myths and the legends and the mythology of the world. So I like Paola as a character as well. And I liked seeing her friendships in this book and seeing how all of that developed and how Paola as a character developed. So definitely plan to continue on with the series. Then I did my reread of Flashback. It got 5 stars. This is the 7th book in the Keeper of the Lost City series. This was another book on my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR. I don't remember the prompt. I'll put words up on the screen here so you know what the prompt was. But it was on my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR. I absolutely adore this series. And the more books I read, the more I'm reminded about why I adore them and how this is a series that the further we go in the series, the more I love it. There are so many interesting developments in this one. And there was a thing that happened in this one that I thought happened in book 8. So again, I'm finding this reread to be very important when it comes to refreshing my memory of when things happened exactly and how things lined up in the greater universe. It is getting me very, very excited for Stellar Loon. I cannot wait till November to get to find out what happens next to everybody. But one of my favorite moments in the whole series happens in this book. And it was just so much fun getting to experience it again, and there were definitely things I had forgotten. So really, really loving my reread. Then I read Valor, and I'm giving this book 4 stars. I don't know that any book in this series is going to get more than that because there's just so many characters to keep track of. And even with the character list, it was still sometimes confusing. I was listening to the audiobook, and this is a book I wish had a full cast because I think I would start to latch on to who the characters were if their voices switched, because then I would remember their voices. So I'm bummed that the audiobooks are not full cast, but that being said, I do still really enjoy this world and these characters and getting to see how things are developing. There's basically a war in the Banished Lands in this series, and we're kind of following all these different characters who are on both sides of the war, and it's just a book that takes a lot more concentration than I was expecting it to, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. But it meant I had to slow the audiobook down if I wanted to focus, or if I had it at a faster speed, I had to be physically reading along. And like I said, I really wish the audiobooks had a full cast, because I think that would help to distinguish the characters a little bit more, because like I said, even with the character list, I was still getting characters confused and having to look back to see who they were and how they fit into the greater picture. But I am enjoying this series. I'm planning on taking September off because I just have an insane TBR with the 7, because Greek God A-Thon was announced, and we're getting a week-long version of that at the end of the month. So yes, 7. September is just going to be crazy. So I'm going to take September off from the Faithful and Fallen series, and I will pick it back up in October. But I am enjoying this, and I do plan to continue the series at some point. And this was also, again, I'll put up on the screen what prompt it fulfilled for Pick-Pong-A-Thon, because I'm just completely drawing a blank. But I believe this was a book I didn't want on my TBR. Not because I didn't plan to read it, but because I didn't want the pressure of having to read it in the month of September. But I've read it, I enjoyed it, and I will still be continuing on with the series. The other book that was kind of sort of on my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR, depending on how you wanted to look at it, is The Poison Primrose. And I've started this. I'm like 13 pages in. I don't have much to say. The main character is autistic and asexual, and I'm really excited to be reading a cozy mystery with a not typical, single white female straight main character. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how this book differs with such a different main character and seeing a different kind of rap, especially considering I've come to the conclusion that I'm pretty sure I'm autistic, and obviously I'm asexual. So I'm very, very interested in this book and getting to kind of see whether having an autistic, asexual main character changes things. Just because I've read so many cozy mysteries that I'm assuming there's probably going to be a slightly different feel. If for no other reason than I'm not expecting some crazy love triangle like in some of the cozy mysteries I've read. Though, just because she's asexual doesn't mean that she couldn't get into a love triangle, so I guess we'll see. And then the only other updates I have is that I finished both The Things We Do for Love and Wild Beauty. So I have finally finished my spring covers just in time to film my fall covers video right on top of this. I obviously won't be telling you my thoughts on these or anything like that, but I did finish both of them. And I'm very excited to be able to film the final clip for my spring covers vlog and get that out at some point. Hopefully Friday. It's Tuesday now. I have 3 days to film the final clip, make sure the entire video is edited, and upload it. I think that's doable. So that will hopefully be coming to you this week. Probably after this video, I think. I suppose we'll see. But either way, I'm very excited to be able to check this off, especially considering one of the last books I have to read for my August TBR is my first summer covers book, and I didn't want to start that video until I had finished my spring covers one. So I have 2 books left on my TBR, and that's the Hurricane Season, which is my summer cover book, and then 12th, which is the last book. On my Phase 10 TBR, I think I did it for one word title. And then I have a few other books I would like to get to. Obviously, The Poison Primrose. I have 2 Aunt Dimity books I have to get to because I've put books 4 and 5 on my September TBR, so I have to reread books 2 and 3. And I have The Hidden Enemy, which is the second book in the Survivor series, which I have to get to because books 3 and 4 are on my September TBR. So if I don't get to them in August, I will be reading them in September so that I can finish my September TBR. But my September TBR, even though it looks like it has a lot more books, I think a lot of the books are shorter. Because I think I have to, like, on my chart where it says the amount of pages I have to read less. But that's before I add anything that I'm rolling over from August. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, not a bad reading week. My main goal this week was to finish my Pick-Pong-A-Thon TBR, which I technically did, and finish the books I needed for my spring covers vlog, which I did. So successful reading week. Very, very happy with my progress. And yeah, hopefully I can keep this momentum rolling because I think I'm finally back in my groove, which is very exciting. So I'm going to wrap this vlog up here. I'm sorry that it wasn't longer and I didn't check in more. You know me, I go into every vlog with the best of intentions, and sometimes things outside of my control make it so that, well, I just don't check in. So I try. I think about it. Just know that even if I don't film, I am thinking about it very consistently. So yeah, that's the end of this vlog. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me Queen or Hearts emojis, given that this was the first book I read this week. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!